Mountain Joe, how are you?
I'm good, but holy cow, you just
I came in hot. I came in hot because I know what the topic of the podcast is. So.
Yeah, you are hot to trot tonight.
So, I have a question for you. It's related to our topic.
Okay.
I thought this is a pretty good question. So, post-apocalypto, what are you bringing to the table? What skill set do you have that will allow you to be alive?
I am working really hard on martial arts.
Non-martial skill. That's not going to help you, I don't think, too much.
You don't think it'll help against the mutants?
No. Oh. You'll be dead. You'll be dead instantly.
All this wasted
First of all, they'll have weapons. They'll have guns and stuff. Yeah.
I can make a really great cornmeal pizza.
Yeah, because we'll have all of the facilities to make it. Yeah, it still feel badly. I don't have anything either. I mean, the only thing that I could think maybe might be useful is I could play guitar for people because they still might want to hear music.
I do have some lyrics memorized to some songs. Would that?
That would, yeah, that's like, but yeah, not a reason to keep you alive though.
No, I haven't hoarded any toothpaste or anything.
I know our guest has thought about this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, look at him. He looks so happy.
Yeah. Matt Watts, welcome yet again to our podcast.
Yeah. I actually have nothing to bring to the table either. If there was an I assume that I would be one of the first to go. I'd be dead right away in the apocalypse. As much as I fantasize or have loved to fantasize about a post-apocalyptic wasteland, I know I'd be useless in it.
Yeah, it'd be terrible. It would be awful.
I would I couldn't sleep the first night and I'd be a wreck the next day.
There'd be no coffee first thing in the morning.
It'd be awful.
Can you imagine
the amount of supplements I need to take every day, and like the amount of sleep I require, and the comfort earplugs to sleep? Like it's just I'm too pampered. I couldn't do it.
And suddenly the glass has become so much more important, right? It's we can't let anything happen to our glasses,
as Burgess Meredith showed us in the Twilight Zone.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's most horrible important tragedy.
Yeah.
But now, okay, so regular listeners to this podcast, are there any regular listeners to this podcast? If there are any regular listeners to this podcast, they would already know Matt Watts. So I'll just give the little introduction for those who don't know. So Matt is famous in certain circles, I think, for his post-apocalyptic radio plays, Steve the First and Steve the Second, and then Canada 2056, which there was some post-apocalyptic stuff in that.
The best circles of anyone who knows those shows, I consider an important and great person.
Yeah.
Was there post-apocalyptic stuff? No, it was dystopian, but it was all set in the future. They time traveled and stuff, but it was like
Didn't they come back to the planet Earth and have to clean it up at one point?
Oh yeah, that's right. Wow.
See, I know your work better than you do.
Well, you were story editor on it, so you remember it.
Typical editor.
Job.
Yeah.
It was literally my job.
Yeah.
So, and Matt, of course, is also the author, a first-time author of Hope of the Wasteland, one of our
published by Donovan Street Press.
Yes, and only the finest people are familiar with.
It's a stable of Donovan Street Press authors on this podcast right now.
Yes, Mark and
We've
Matt.
all been published by
I guess
Donovan
I have
Street
some
Press,
books there too,
including you. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, you're also an actor. You were just before the podcast, we were talking about you having lived in Newfoundland. I just saw that movie just recently, The Grand Seduction. Yeah. Where you were Frank.
I was Frank. That's right.
Yeah. You make a good Frank.
I don't remember I was the buffoon, I think.
You were
in the French version. The actor who played that character was a famous French comedian, buffoon. And so played buffoons, not the actual actor. And when I was in Newfoundland, because there was a partially Montreal crew, they kept expecting me to be broad and wacky. I was like, I don't know how to tell you this, guys, but I'm not going to be either of those things. So I think some of them were disappointed.
You're your own Frank. You were the internet expert, and
it's
I
a
thought
really
you were great.
Niche. You're your own Frank in Grand Seduction. It's like 5 people get that.
Yeah, and then just to round off you've also done work with Kids in the Hall. You were in the newsroom with Ken Finkelman, and you had your own television series, Michael Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes.
All of this stuff, I don't have to read any of this stuff. Like I just rattled this off. I know,
But you are reading it.
I'm not.
Oh,
No,
I'm
this is
impressed.
all. No.
You did a better job than I would.
Well, and the funny thing is, like, because I've now known you so long, I don't actually think about any of that stuff. Like when I'm talking to you, it's just, but like rattling it off now, I'm like, this Matt character is pretty cool.
I've done some things, not lately, but I have done some things.
Yeah.
Everything.
And we had an awesome time working together at CBC Radio.
I know that feels like a long time ago, but I wish, it was more recently just because of the age thing, but also because it was so much fun. I wish I had done it recently just so I could remember it recently. That makes sense.
Well, it was fun. Anyway, so yeah, two of my favorite people here on this podcast, Mark A. Rayner and Matt Watts. I'm sorry, I don't know what your middle initial is, but
it's Gordon.
That's
not the initial.
Gord.
That's the
You're
full
a Gord.
name.
Oh my God.
Gord. It was my father.
Beauty,
It was my father's name. So yeah, I was named after him. I was
nice.
Yeah, that's right. Is that? Yeah, I was named Matt. It was named after Matt Dillon from Gunsmoke. Gordon was named after my father. Not a lot of originality there in my name.
I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Gunsmoke.
Hey, I just barely escaped Mark Anthony.
That would have been great.
My mother had to put her foot down. I would have preferred Marcus Aurelius, to be honest.
That would have been really good.
That would have been awesome.
Wait, what does the A stand for?
Andrew.
Okay.
Which is great grandfather, I think.
But Aurelius would have been great.
Matt, could I get you to describe your the work that you have done for Donovan Street Press, Hope of the Wasteland? Could you remind everybody?
Well, coincidentally, I was talking about it the last time I was on this podcast because I had written, I can't remember how far along I was on it. I was writing it and I was complaining about it and how difficult it was. And Mark, I remember you had talked about the joys of discovering what it was like to be a pantser. And I said, I'm going to try that for my next book because I had carefully plotted this one out. It's about, I don't remember how I described it at that point, but now in its published form, since it's pretty final, I can actually talk about it in a way that won't change. It's about a young boy, 12 years old, whose father disappears, where he goes off to get supplies in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. And the boy, having waited for 2 weeks for his father's return, goes out into the wasteland for the first time by himself to find him. And he's an anxious kid, and that's the synopsis, I guess. So, an anxious boy in a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
And it's a charming, in a way, sweet tale in some respects. I think.
I wonder if when I was on the podcast last time, I had talked about it being a satire of post-apocalyptic fiction, because that's how it started. And then I realized I wasn't a strong enough writer to pull it off. So I just wrote what it was satirizing, which is just a, middle grade post-apocalyptic story.
Well, I wouldn't characterize you as not a strong enough writer to pull it off.
You know what I mean.
Yeah,
well,
I get
that was
it.
some heavy lifting I was trying to do.
I get it. That's a trick.
Yeah, I would say
to write the thing and then be satirizing the thing you're writing.
Right,
is a trick. Yeah,
and of course, Mark is you've written several your satirical work. Well, I mean, like your radio plays were in a sense satirizing the post-apocalypse fiction, like A Boy and His Dog.
Yes, right, which is a huge inspiration for the film we're about to talk about.
Nice segue.
I mean, how much do we actually have to talk about the topic, or we can just talk about?
We don't have too much, really.
Post-apocalyptic genre.
It's just a starting point. But you
got to tell everyone what it is, because it's such a great one.
Yes, it is.
I have chosen Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior, or just Mad Max 2, depending on where you live in the world, or The Road Warrior, depending on where you live in the world. I grew up knowing it as The Road Warrior.
Yeah,
me too.
Me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And then I was
which is a great pick, because I love that movie. I love that series, and perhaps we can touch on Fury Road, which is one of my favorite movies of all time since it's come out. I've seen Fury Road about 4 or 5 times, and I love it every time because I just. But anyway, let's start with Road Warrior.
Is this heresy? But I prefer The Road Warrior to Fury Road. I love Fury Road, but I love the whole series. Even the first one, which is more dystopian than post-apocalyptic. But yeah, I love The Road Warrior. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. It's just the story, the action, the performances, the look of it. It's like It's genre defining, right? Like it created a genre or a subgenre anyway. Every post apocalyptic movie since then is influenced by that movie.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, like I remember clearly seeing it in the theater in Summerside, probably the Capitol Theater, and I can't remember how old I was, but I was driving. I'd gone myself in my father's Chrysler Newport 77, and I was not a safe driver driving home after watching Road Warrior. I remember that clearly. It's a wonder I got home alive and didn't hurt anybody. Yeah.
When did the movie come out? Because I don't think I saw it in the theater. I think
it's 81 or 82.
Okay.
It might have been like fall of 81 and limited release in spring of 82. It's in there.
If only there was some means of
we could. Yeah, if there was some kind of device we could check. I just thought you might know. So 81. I think 81 sounds right.
That's what I was going to say. 81. Yeah.
I didn't see it. I was just a baby then. I was 6 in 81, but I can't remember when I first saw it. I had this friend, his name coincidentally was Steve Martin. We knew each other as little kids, but we also ended up in high school together. And I can't remember if he showed it to me when we were little or if we were in high school, but he was obsessed with it. He was obsessed with the trilogy. And I quickly followed. When I saw the Road Warrior particularly, but specifically, I was obsessed forever, pretty much from that point on.
It was a long time after that, I think, until I saw the original Mad Max movie. And then, of course, Beyond Thunderdome came out and watched that, which was the one that wasn't directed by George Miller.
He co-directed. He directed it, but it's the writer of the novelization, I think, took over halfway through or something like that.
Yeah.
Of Thunderdome, this Beyond Thunderdome?
Yeah. Well, I think a close friend of George Miller's had passed away and he wasn't in the right mental frame of mind to direct it.
You can see it. I actually saw Thunderdome in theaters a couple months ago, and it had been a long time since I watched it, and you could really tell the difference in some of the scenes.
Yeah.
There's most of the movie feels very light and fluffy and almost kind of like Disney-fied.
Yeah.
And then there's the chase sequence at the end that feels like George Miller again.
And but Road Warrior. So why else do you like? I mean, you obviously are very drawn to and partial to post-apocalyptic fiction. Did it begin with Road Warrior, or is
I think Road Warrior was the first. Okay. And then I as I've gotten older, I've realized one of the things that I love the most about the genre is actually it's close to the Western ties. As I've discovered Western as a genre, which I found really dull as a kid, but now I love the slowness of it. I love the kind of loneliness of it. I think it's the things that the post-apocalyptic genre draws from Westerns is actually what I'm attracted to. In Road Warrior specifically, it's, you've got this anti-hero who's just trying to get from point A to point B, needs gas, and then stumbles upon this oil refinery and makes a deal to walk away with a ton of gasoline. And that's it. That's the story, And in the process, obviously, he chooses to help the underdogs with their raider problem. But just the simplicity of it and the kind of slow burn of it that escalates into this massive chase scene. It's just
isn't that a little bit George Miller's genius, is taking such a simple premise and then making such a meal out of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
that's true. That's true of Fury Road too.
Yeah, because it's just like it's a chase one way and then a chase back.
Fury Road, when I came out of the theater, my first thought was that was the movie he wished he could have made when he made The Road Warrior.
Yes.
I'm sure. But The Road Warrior still is pretty astonishing a movie.
Yep.
For the time, I mean.
I feel like The Road Warrior it's got more adult stakes. Like I love Fury Road, but it feels a bit like a cartoon, whereas Road Warrior, when he's looking through the telescope and he sees that woman being assaulted, and it's really very real, upsetting and real. Yeah, it is. It's the second one, the Road Warrior, is so grounded, whereas Fury Road feels so arch in a way. It feels like a fairy tale you're watching,
a dream, in a way. And and I was thinking about this I can bounce this off you guys. I was thinking about this recently. The two different kind of movies that I like can almost be categorized as, because I just watched Die Hard over Christmas, and
of course, it's a Christmas movie.
Mark's favorite Christmas movie.
It is my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, and I've always admired that director, John McTiernan. But it's a very kind of by the numbers, very extremely well made movie. But you wouldn't call it any kind of a dream or anything like that. It's kind of like, it's over the top, but it's still kind of realistic over the top. And then you compare that to my all-time favorite movie, which is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which I, again, just saw recently.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say Avatar. I don't know why.
give me some
Titanic.
credit. No. I do have a lot of respect for James Cameron, but and I wouldn't want to alienate him in case he ever wants to be in this podcast. But no, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's completely a dream. Like it's the antithesis to Die Hard. It's because the scenes go on so long and they're so over the top, and the music is so over the top. It's basically like you're in this Western dream.
I never looked at it like that, but I can see it. I think I always attributed the dreamlike quality to those spaghetti westerns to do with the dubbing and the sort of odd.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was a kid, those movies were always on late at night when you were sort of half asleep anyway, and then they would always be squished to fit the TV. They never letterboxed it or
never right.
Yeah, the aspect was never right. So that also added to the weird nature of the whole thing.
But I think it's the sensibility. And a movie that I haven't seen yet that I want to see, which I think falls in the same category, at least Roger Ebert described it as that, which kind of got me thinking in these terms, is Cat People with Natasha Kinski. And he's like, this is a good movie.
Does Paul Schrader make that?
It could well be.
I think it's a Paul Schrader movie.
I've never seen that movie.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah.
I'm intimately familiar with the soundtrack because I won't go into the reasons, but I love the soundtrack. It's like I listen to it all the time. The Cat People soundtrack with David Bowie as the.
What a weird factoid.
I know.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing.
So now we know that about you, Joe.
Your favorite movies are Die Hard, Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and your favorite soundtrack, Cat People.
Cat People.
Although you've never seen the movie.
Yes, that's right.
How did you discover that?
Okay, I'm going to go there. All right.
No, I'm curious because, as a kid, you'd see a movie and you'd love the movie, and then you couldn't take the movie home. So you'd buy the novelization and get the soundtrack and then sort of put two and two together. But if you've never seen the movie, how do you discover that?
I'll try to make this as concise as possible. I moved from Prince Edward Island to Toronto to go to Ryerson, which is now Toronto Metropolitan University, to take radio and television arts. One of the projects that we had to do in first year was make a K-Tel commercial, which was, those of us of a certain age will remember. Yeah. It's like taking a bunch of different songs and piecing them together in a way that works, like as a montage, and then doing basically a K-Tel commercial over it.
That's a good assignment. It's
actually an excellent assignment.
Yeah. And we had to edit this all on tape. This was before computers, right? So we're cutting this on tape. And I can't even remember what I chose, but there was a woman, a Czechoslovakian woman, probably from Prague.
She's probably at least been to Prague.
Yeah. And her name was, if I may mention her name I still remember, was Irina Fiala. And she was a little older than me, and she got me to help her with her K-Tel commercial, and the music that she chose was the soundtrack to Cat People, and helping her make that, I just came to love the music, which is Giorgio Moroder did the music, and it's wonderful. And it's now on my Spotify playlist and comes up all the time. And
we all have to watch this movie. We
have to do a group watch and then have a podcast about it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I wanted to ask you, Matt, you said you're getting into Westerns. So what Westerns are you watching?
Oh my God. It's, recently I just watched, the Bud Boticher, is that his name? Bud Boticher films he did them with Randolph Scott. He made The Tall T, Buchanan Rides Again, I think was another one. I'm sort of all over the place.
Wow, these are deep cut
Westerns. There's a lot of Westerns.
Yeah,
it's there's a lot. the other thing. I mean, the movie I keep going back to is Rio Bravo. I love Rio Bravo.
Well, that's John Ford, isn't
John
it?
Ford,
Yeah.
John Wayne,
Yeah.
Dean Martin's
John Wayne.
incredible in it.
I've actually seen that one.
Rio Bravo?
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Westerns, but I think I've seen that one. My dad loved Westerns, but I just never really enjoyed them.
I've been watching Gunsmoke a lot lately.
I love
just
Westerns.
just the TV series.
Oh my God.
I didn't realize I loved Westerns so much. And then the exciting thing about it is there's so much material. So it's discovering a whole genre that,
Yeah.
it's not that there's mediocre stuff. I mean, there is mediocre stuff, but there's a lot of great stuff there too.
Yeah.
So, like the classics, like The Searchers and Rio Bravo, and
Because wasn't that part of a trilogy, John Ford's trilogy? There was the Rio Bravo, The Searchers, and Fort Apache or something.
wait, no, Rio Bravo wasn't John Ford. That was Howard
true.
Hawks. It was a Howard Hawks movie.
Howard Hawks,
And then Joe, I was texting you because I was reading Lonesome Dove for the first time. So that's. I mean, it's not a film, obviously, but it's like I thought it was. That's the pinnacle. That's like.
Well, it's a miniseries.
It's a
Have you not seen the
miniseries.
I know. I saw it. I didn't like it very much.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I
Okay.
thought
Yeah,
that
not as good as the book, but
the book is incredible. And
Love the book. Yeah.
what's his name? Who are the two?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
And
Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall.
Duvall. Yeah.
So Robert Duvall
plays
was
Gus.
not at all what I thought the character was while reading the book, and so
Okay.
I really didn't like him in the role. That's my own personal opinion, which I realize many people do not share. But yeah. So the back to the post-apocalyptic thing. It's those key elements of the genre that I think I love. Again, there's a lot about isolation. There's a lot about there's the new frontier aspect to it.
Mhm.
There's the like discovering small towns or villages of people that aren't tied to the main hubs of society. It's more of a contemplative, exploring genre. I think post-apocalyptic and
Do
Western.
you like the idea of the lone hero, like the
Yeah, I think
lonely wanderer kind of appeals to you?
I think it appeals to me because it's very simple and it's easy to sort of put yourself in that position. And their wants are very simple too, right? It's like mostly it's survival or to be left alone or both. And I think I like the simplicity of that. And like Max is a very simple character. And then in Westerns, the man with no name, and they're mission movies too. There's that element of like
Mhm.
you establish the mission, they go on the mission, they either complete the mission or they fail the mission, and that's the arc. And I think it's from a writing perspective, I just appreciate the simplicity of it, and how much is done with such a simple premise. Like
Now-
there's so much in The Searchers, and it's literally just him trying to find the girl that was kidnapped. That's the whole
Yeah.
story. And it's 2.5 hours of just gripping entertainment.
Kind of the MacGuffin, as they say.
Right.
Now, I remember when we were making Steve the First and Steve the Second. Were you partial to A Boy and His Dog?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I love A Boy and His Dog, but not as much as The Road Warrior, which is why I picked The Road Warrior. And A Boy and His Dog came later, whereas like to me, Road Warrior was like the spark for me. And then
And how old were you when you saw it?
Road Warrior, probably like 12, maybe.
Yeah, so that's going to imprint on you at that age. That's that's a very impressionable age to watch that movie.
And I think Boy and His Dog I saw probably late on like City TV one night when I was much older, like in my teens, late teens.
Does it hold up?
Boy and His Dog?
Yeah.
The first half does. The second half, down in the bunker with Jason Robards and all the sort of pale, they're all wearing like weird makeup. It gets a little tedious at that point. But I think the sort of roaming the wasteland, him and Blood hunting for food or women, it's definitely
not PC.
Not PC. And the ending, I still think it's one of the greatest endings ever. But I don't know if that would fly today.
Okay, now I have to ask you guys, because this is a subject that interests me. What are the greatest endings ever?
In a movie, The Mist is the first thing that comes to my mind.
On the Beach.
Oh, right. Well, that's also if you're talking post-apocalyptic.
Well, that's the anti-post-apocalyptic movie because that's the truth, right?
Right.
That happens.
There's nothing.
That's it. It's all over.
There's no fun.
There's no fun. There's no adventure. So another one that to fold in the Hollywood thing, the Western thing, Unforgiven.
Oh, the end
of Unforgiven is,
just you mean the end scene with where he turns into Will Money in the bar
and he shoots everybody.
Yeah, that's great.
And then
what is great about that?
It's not Wild Bill. It's what the name. Gene Hackman's character is like. I don't deserve
Little
this.
Bill.
And
Little
Bill, yeah. Little I don't deserve this. And William Money is like, deserve's got nothing to do with it. Bam.
To answer your question, Joe, I'd say it's more what's great about that ending is you spend the whole movie wondering how bad this guy could actually be, and it like makes you pregnant with like anticipation, and then to see it finally happen. I mean, it's also a very anti-violent film.
It is.
And then to have this sort of explosion of violence at the end, it's like it's a bittersweet, horrible ending, but also,
yeah, because I remember, because I saw that at the Uptown on Yonge Street in Toronto. Remember it clearly.
R.I.P. The greatest cinema in Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
I also saw Blade Runner, the director's cut there. But and I remember coming out of the theater feeling very strange about that movie because I'd enjoyed it, and then there was the ending, but there wasn't the usual catharsis that you get with the ending. Instead, it was you were left disturbed, which I think was the point.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Clearly, I enjoy that.
Yeah, I like feeling disturbed.
On the beach,
well, and the Mist and
the Mist. Actually, that's another one. Yeah.
And back to Boy and His Dog. That's like the ending is disturbing and upsetting, and I think based on When You Were Born, I think that it's just sort of the idea of a darker ending that isn't necessarily everything's tied up in a nice bow. It sort of shows you that stories don't always have to go the way that you expect them to go. And it's a surprise, right? Like you feel...
And they can make a point. Yeah.
Like you don't want a complete subversion of the ending just for the sake of it. It's got to fit the story and the tone, which is, I think, what these movies do. Like,
I think that was Gene Hackman's last movie, wasn't it?
No, actually, Gene Hackman's last movie was Welcome to Mooseport.
Oh boy,
that's
shot here in Toronto, and I
maybe everyone wishes that was his last movie.
Yeah, maybe, but he won an Academy Award for it.
He was really good. I mean, the whole cast was amazing.
Rosemary's Baby has one of the greatest endings of all time.
Oh yeah,
he has his father's eyes, and then
okay, I'll say it. The Planet of the Apes, the first movie.
Oh yes,
that's a pretty stellar ending.
I mean, so to talk about apes, I mean, that's also a huge influence on me. Maybe not so much in a book like Hope, but it is a post-apocalyptic movie.
Yes, it is.
And the second one, especially when you go into the underground with the mutants and the, like that starts to devolve into more traditional post-apocalyptic, bizarre stuff, right? Like the mutants that speak telepathically and they're worshiping the bomb. Yeah. In the old subway tunnels.
That's a really weird movie.
It's kind of great though. It's I think it's kind of dull, but it's also really inventive.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And also the way it tells the story too.
It feels like a Star Trek episode.
I need to watch those again. Yeah. I recently started to watch the Planet of the Apes, the TV series.
That's great. That show is so underappreciated.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch that when I was a kid.
Is it David Naughton's brother? It's like James Naughton or something, and it's a classic episodic. Like they're on the run, so it's like Littlest Hobo, Incredible Hulk, like that sort of on the run episode to episode. They're going to solve the problems of this little village as they run away from General Urso or whatever.
Kung Fu.
Yeah, Kung Fu.
Yeah, General Urso. It's Mark Lenard, if I'm not mistaken.
This is a side thing, but yesterday I saw The Whole Bloody Affair in a theater, the Kill Bill thing. And
okay.
Kung Fu,
okay.
That's why you thought
How long was it?
4.5 hours.
Okay.
5 hours with like from walking in the door, finding my seat.
Yeah. Intermission.
And whether it went by so quickly, I have to say, I was dreading it. I kept thinking, I'm not going to be able to sit for that long. It's like a flight to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I was never bored.
Wow.
And I'll never think of it as two movies again.
So it really held up.
Yeah, I really do.
Really well.
I really hope that comes to London.
Well, I'm sure it'll get a physical release at some point.
Yeah.
Like it'll be out on Blu-ray.
My local Highland.
It's so good.
Speaking of long movies, I've just been getting into a bunch of long movies lately. I just watched David Lean's Lawrence of Arabia, followed by Dr. Zhivago.
Oh, that's my favorite movie.
Is that your favorite movie?
That's my favorite movie.
I did not know that. The things we're learning.
I've seen that movie probably a dozen times.
I'd never seen either of them before.
I got to watch it. I've seen Lawrence of Arabia, but when I was like in high school.
Yeah.
I've never seen Dr. Zhivago.
Lawrence of Arabia is very good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I just love Dr. Zhivago. Yeah.
What's it about?
It takes place during the Russian Revolution, and it's about a doctor and the two women that he falls in love with during the tumultuous period of the end of the war. And
is it based on a book? Revolution. Is it a Russian?
Yeah, it's Pasternak. Yeah, based on a Russian novel. Yeah. And the music's beautiful. Yeah. The acting's sublime. Like, it's just really well done. Yeah, and they frame it. It's framed so It's such a good, lovely framing. It starts with Alec Guinness, who plays Dr. Zhivago's brother, and it starts with him at this dam complex, and they're looking at all the young people, coming out of their work day, and he says, "That's the one I want to talk to," and that's the daughter, he thinks, of Lara and Dr. Zhivago, and so he wants to interview her, and then the whole story is then, of course, him actually telling the story to her. It's just, and then it ends with the two of them again. And
something I've noticed about movies like that there's often a secondary character that kind of carries the movie away. And in this movie, it was Rod Steiger.
He's a very powerful character in that movie. Yeah, he is. He's a pivotal character.
He is. But the performance is
it's a big performance. But I mean, when has Rod Steiger never done? I mean, he always does a big performance.
Yeah.
Like, he's just big.
Going back to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, for me, it's like Eli Wallach who just walks away with that movie. Yeah. Sure, it's a Clint Eastwood movie, but no, it's really an Eli Wallach movie. Anyway.
I'm like, okay, so these are two movies that are now at the top of my list to watch. Dr. Zhivago and Cat People.
Yes.
Cat People is also on my list. I've always wanted to see Cat People, but I just never watched it. I never saw it when it came out. I never, for whatever reason, never rented it. Maybe it wasn't available on DVD when I was.
Oh, and here's now where things are starting to link up, because Cat People stars Natasha Kinski, and do you remember who's in Dr. Zhivago? Klaus Kinski, her father.
Oh,
Klaus Kinski.
Yeah,
who's he playing?
He's in The Train. He's the forced laborer in The Train.
Oh, right.
I don't know.
Right. He's the anarchist.
Oh. Sorry, now we're leaving that.
Yeah, so they have to take a train from so Dr. Zhivago marries
he marries his cousin.
His cousin, essentially, yeah, but they're quite wealthy. And then, of course, the revolution is not going great for the wealthy people, especially. And there's they got to get out of town. So,
and it's actually kind of post-apocalyptic in a way.
It actually is very well. It's definitely what happens when society breaks down.
Yeah, because society in Russia has broken down.
Bulk of the movie takes place during the Civil War between the Reds and the Whites, and so life has broken down. It's chaos, and they take this train across Russia to Varikino, which is where they hide out. They try to hide out.
It's a real
really
life.
Great.
It's a real life post-apocalyptic movie, and because they wind up living in anyway, we're going down.
Yeah, this is a real rabbit hole. Yeah, also it really is great. It's super depressing. Yeah, it's
as most Russian.
It's super super sad and romantic and depressing. Yeah.
But okay, so back to Matt. So you've written Hope of the Wasteland. It's my understanding, and we've talked about this, that you're working on a sequel.
I am working on a sequel. I'm outlining a sequel. I'm working on another book right now that has been the bane of my existence for the last year and a half, and I want to get it done. At this point, it's just it's like pride, and then I'd like to write the sequel to Hope when they're a little bit older and furthers the story. I mean, you've seen parts of the outline, so we've discussed.
Don't all of our books at some point become the bane of our existence?
This one is it's really tough because I remember talking to you guys about the process, and writing in first person, especially for middle grade, felt simple to me because it's like writing a very long monologue. an incredibly long 300-page monologue. This book is third person, and I'm struggling with it a bit, and just finding the tone. And it's an adult. It's not an adult. It's a book for adults. It's not an adult. It's not.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not erotic.
Yeah.
It's but it's it's a thriller horror ghost story essentially. And I've gone back to the outline like a half a dozen times. I've thrown out over 100,000 words.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a real uphill battle, but I gotta get it done. But I love the story. The first book, because it was partially influenced by my father's passing. And the second book was also similarly about my mother. This book, I mean, the horror book. So it's like it's like a personal connection. I just sort of feel like I got to get it done. But yes, to answer your question, I want to return to the Hope book. I mean, I feel like it'll sell well if there's also 3 books.
Yeah. Well, that's the publishing. Oh boy.
Let's not go there. But yes, middle grade is a huge market to enter, and I think that most kids that age want a series. Or at least a lot of parents want a series for the kids. Yeah. So,
and I mean, when I was a kid, I read all kinds of series. I love series.
Yeah, me too.
I had the time to devote to.
It's crazy.
5 or 6 books.
A friend's daughter read is like one of the first. She wrote a fan letter to the book, and she consumes like a book a day, and she's such an avid, voracious reader. She's 10 or 11. I think she just turned 10, and I guess I was like that at the age too. Yeah. And like you said, Mark, I guess it was about time as well. It was just like she has no devices either. She's not allowed to have a phone. So
well, that'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she just sits and reads in all her spare time. I'm trying to get more like that, but or to return to that, but it's not easy.
Yeah, I find it a challenge. Yeah, because now my job is kind of reading and working on other people's books, and
you don't spend 3-4 hours on someone else's manuscript and go, I'm going to return to this memoir I was reading. You probably just want to not read anything.
Well,
yeah, I have another problem, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll squeeze in like 15 or 20 minutes at the end of the day, which isn't good because I got to keep up the pace of at least reading 15 or 20 books a year,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're working on books in the book industry, which I largely am now, you don't want to get out of touch with that industry.
I do find that for my own writing skills, that reading is literally when people say, what's the best thing to help your writing? It's just keep reading, because I'll find if I'm reading a lot and I go back to the manuscript and I'm writing, I think, I'm actually writing better. I can see the quality of my writing improve by the amount of reading I'm doing at the time.
Yeah,
it's a simple thing, but it's true.
I have the opposite problem. I think I know what I want to write, and I have trouble reading fiction when I'm drafting fiction, because I get influenced by what I'm reading.
So if you're reading like Kurt Vonnegut, everything,
or something like that, I find it. Yeah, I find myself mimicking that a little bit.
But that's okay for a first draft, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. No. Not for me anyway. I don't like it. I don't like it when I'm not writing in my own voice or the voice that I'm trying to write in for that piece. Yeah, I don't like that. So I'm fine with it's fine. I still read. I just fill my time with nonfiction when I'm drafting.
That makes sense. I'm doing that unknowingly. But
I'm not accusing you that. No.
I'm just saying right now that's what I'm reading is nonfiction.
That's what I do. I read a lot. I feel like I need nonfiction to feed I call it the idea hamster. He needs something to run on, right? And a lot of that comes from the ideas that I get from listening to nonfiction.
The book I'm writing now, it takes place in a small town in Ontario, and there was a closed down silver mine, which is similar to my family's history. And I am reading this book, Murdered Midas. I can't remember the title, but it's about they made a movie about this guy with Gene Hackman. He was a miner up in New Liskeard and made a fortune, and then was murdered in the Bahamas, and they never solved the crime. But just reading the sort of first half of the book, which is a lot of story of like Cobalt and New Liskard, it actually, there were ideas in there. I was like, oh, I'm going to put that in my book. Cause so I was borrowing heavily from that. So I get it. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Something that I've got a draft form at this point is I've got a short story in this collection that I've drafted, and it's like, you can tell I was reading a nonfiction book about the end of the Bronze Age civilization. So I read actually a couple of books about it. So I've got like a short story called Dusk at Ugarit, and it's just totally inspired by listening or actually reading that book. That was when I read
what civilization was like at that time.
Yeah, what that specific little city, like the city civilization, and what happened to them, and it's still kind of a mystery. Nobody actually has an actual answer for what happened to them. So yeah, it's like, it's amazing how that kind of stuff will just filter, and your idea runs with it. Yeah,
you got to explain that. So what? Tell us about the civilization that.
So it's a civilization that they only discovered, I think, in like the mid 70s. It's northern Syria, and they discovered just by accident. I think they were building a parking lot or something, and they discovered this wall, and then that looks like something, and then they dug it out, and it's this whole civilization called the Ugarit civilization. I'm not going to get all the details of this right, because it's been now 2 years since I read the book, but it's fascinating to me that they could figure out so much just from the archaeology. So they found, just enough writing, and it's cuneiform that they're using, not exactly the same as what they would have been using in Babylon or the Akkadians or whatever. So like they figured out just enough to get a sense of, here's how they fit into the world. They were part of a trade network. It's an interesting time period because it's probably the first semi-global civilization,
and then
the late Bronze Age. Because the Greeks, Egypt, all the Middle Eastern countries were all civilizations but they were trading with one another, and they talked to one another, and sometimes they even married one another. So it was like a kind of a global culture, and it all ended in the period of like 100 years. And they're still trying to figure out exactly what caused it.
Doesn't that kind of sort of tie into our theme of
post-apocalyptic? Yeah. That's why I raised it.
Yeah, because it seems to me that we always look at at a post-apocalyptic future, thinking that that it's coming. It seems that humanity has already experienced innumerable post-apocalypses.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, read Jared Diamond's Collapse. I mean, it's happened a bunch of times before.
And there may be one shortly.
Let's hope not.
That's really
We've already outlined how badly we're going to do in that kind of situation.
I mean, it is the one thing that sometimes I think about when I'm like, I am writing post-apocalyptic fiction that is starting to look alarmingly true.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a bad idea in terms of, hey, who wants to read this? Probably no one. It should be writing utopian.
My first novel, The Amadeus Net. It's a post-apocalyptic story, but it's sort of a hopeful story in the sense that civilization doesn't end, but America has broken up into pieces.
Right.
And okay. Not that I was the first person to ever have that idea, but
we should all write utopian fiction.
Yeah, utopian fiction. Yeah,
but I don't know if people want that. Now, I think that people still like, the dark. They like exploring. Okay, what are the possibilities? Like that movie Civil War that came out. Was it Civil War?
Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was really kind of fascinating to watch because you're like, okay, is this what we're looking at in the next,
Have you read
the Alex Garland movie? That's the one with Jesse Plemons and
Jesse Plemons and
they try to take back the White House at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was depressing.
It's depressing.
Okay, so as we wrap this up, then how do we bring this back to a more positive place?
Well, we don't.
I'm trying to figure out how it's a subgenre itself, but I read a lot of Beatles memoirs and like. Basically I read a lot. I read like 2 to 3 Beatles books a year, and I'm trying to find a way to incorporate that into my writing or
like
anything.
the band, the Beatles.
The Beatles, yeah, the band.
Yeah,
the
okay.
band. Like
Not
today,
the
I
insect.
finished Cynthia Lennon's memoir called John that she wrote in 2012, and it was all her perspective of, you know, because she was with John Lennon before, like from high school, and up until 67, 68. So, you know, she was with him for like 10 years. I have a theory that the Beatles are to our generation what World War II was to our parents' generation in terms of like endless
Yeah.
fascination. And it's like, because my wife says things like, you know, you want to read another Beatles book? Don't you know everything already? And I'm like, yeah, but that's part of what makes it so enjoyable is that I know 95% of what's going to be in this book, but that 5% I don't know is new information, and it's fascinating. And even just reading the same stuff from a different perspective, I can't get enough of it.
And it probably will come out in your work in some useful way.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe it is just literally something I read for fun. And
comfort. It's a good comfort read.
It's very comforting.
Yeah.
It's very comforting.
Maybe, yeah.
I like that.
I remember one of my favorite books, Little Big Man, which is also one of my favorite
also
movies.
A Western.
Yes. And the author of that book read 50 books about the West before he wrote Little Big Man. And then he had all this information in his head, you know, that then just came out in
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Thomas Berger.
What you read does have an impact in what you write, I think, quite a bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Most of the West is a big Hollywood lie. Just to state that so we all know.
Yeah.
I was reading something just today about the classic shootout, you know, how that was completely a Hollywood construct.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. Just, you know, we have to acknowledge it. That's all.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, guys, as we wrap up, any final thoughts on post-apocalyptic movies, fiction, the movie that we were ostensibly talking about?
I would say that if you're a fan of Fury Road and you've never seen The Road Warrior, give The Road Warrior a try.
Yeah. Post-apocalyptic media, that's cool. Post-apocalyptic, not cool.
Yeah, the real post-apocalypse is going to suck. But
yeah, that would suck horribly. It would suck. Let's be, conditional.
Yeah.
Matt, let me ask you this just before we go. Would you recommend watching all of the Mad Max movies in order, or just cherry pick them, the best ones?
I mean, I think they're all great. I think even Thunderdome has its good things. I mean, I borrow heavily from Thunderdome in Hope, right? The children, the city of children, like it's which, I mean, he borrows from a book called Ridley Walker, but I mean, it's all from the same pile. I would say watch them all. If you only wanted to watch two, then Road Warrior and Fury Road. That's, I guess. But otherwise,
I would agree.
Watch them in order: Mad Max, Road Warrior, or Mad Max 2, Thunderdome, Fury Road, and Furiosa. And I hope we get The Wasteland, which is supposed to be his last one.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Mark, any final?
No. I'm good.
Okay, well then my final word would be watch those movies, but then also pick up Matt Watt's book, Hope of the Wasteland, because it's a great book. And hopefully he will write more in the series.
And soon there'll be a sequel.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Hope.
Matt Watts, thank you very much for being on
Thanks
our podcast.
For having me, guys. I really appreciate it. I love talking about this stuff, and I can talk about it forever.
You've been listening to Recreative, a podcast about creativity and the works that inspire it. Recreative is produced by Mark Rayner and Joe Mahoney for Donovan Street Press Inc. in association with Monkey Joy Press. Technical production and music by Joe Mahoney, web design by Mark Rayner. You can support this podcast by checking out our guests' work, listening to their music, purchasing their books, watching their shows, and so on. You can find out more about each guest and all of our past episodes by visiting recreative.ca. That's re-creative.ca. You can contact us by emailing Joe Mahoney at donovanstreetpress.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.